Well, let's review. Hopefully, you guys had a good day today. I was kind of playing with the six hands and three heads, so it was fun. Well, my wife's out, but tomorrow I should be getting some help from family. So hopefully, I'm able to hop on live without screaming. So today, if you guys watched the plan from our last night market update, I think it was actually pretty straightforward, right? We dipped below the 3-day value area low, and then immediately we came back for a retest, and then we continued down, right? The A and B periods were giving you a good idea that there's not going to be much buying activity at this time because they had the A period all the way down, and then B period pretty much wiped out all of the A and went below the B, and then it was fairly interesting AB range here, meaning the initial balance was set pretty much here. And then they were able to auction and they did not find value. Once they explored below, they didn't really look back. So far you have, I would say, a lowercase b. In terms of the profile, you have access, unfair high. At the top, you have almost, I would call this a failed auction on the bottom, right? So you have a poor low and an unfair high. So, what is the point that you guys are looking for, shorting tomorrow is that you're probably going to be somewhere around this value area high or this volume node at 42.28. I would keep eye on value area high. If they're able to reclaim this, then high chance they might test these single prints here, at least come in to 42.45 area. As you guys saw, the 42.41 was a pretty good level today if you played, extended hours. They came here, right? They bounced on the 3-day value area low on NQ was also perfect. And I don't know if you guys remember the 64 level from last night. They came back right before, tapped it, and then they lost all of the value. So remember on the 3-day balance, we said if you lose the 3-day value area low, it was most likely there you're going to tap the 36 level. So this was pretty much easy points here, and it was a giant candle, right? Then they tried to bounce it and they got rejected at the value area low, which indicated that the value is being seeked a little bit below that, right? And that's what they did. And right now, it seems like most likely we're going to be auctioning here shortly today or tomorrow, whatever you want to call it, to 41.40. I mean, that level is it's a giant level, guys. If they're not able to hold 41.40, that means a massive, massive force of sellers is coming in. I just don't see how they will not execute some sort of bounce here, right? I'll be really, really interested to see, you know, did they fail here or did they bounce? My first gut says that we were going to bounce here. If you guys go look at your delta charts and footprints, there's a massive green like 41.46 to 41.38. There's a large spot for green delta. So I would definitely watch that. And if you guys see that, right, this was our range bottom, right? Do you guys remember when I said there's the access bottom, the range low is 42.11. Right now, you're still holding the range bottom, right? We lost it, but then you see all these wicks are indicating that there is some buyers, but they're not really sure. The confidence is not with them just yet, right? So for me, if they want to auction above this, I really have to see them hold this POC tomorrow when we open. We got to hold above that, and we got to reclaim 42.20. If we want to see any bounce, we got to go above this in terms of TPOs. Okay, so I would definitely watch for the 2022 value area high to be the important piece. So I'm gonna shift this here. Where's my value? So this is going to be a big level here, 23 as well as 36, because that was a single print from before. So now if they can't reclaim that, then we know these buyers got absorbed. Okay, I'm just going to turn on SVP here. So let's switch from TPO. Oh man. So in terms of profile, you guys see where we're pretty much rejecting now. Where this level is going to be crucial for them, which happens to be value area low here and TPO. So the 4205 is going to be a huge level. I would expect some kind of rejection here. And if they're able to regain that, then that's your first sign of, I would say, some kind of bullish sentiment. I did not see, obviously, on RTH that we took a little dive already below massive node here. And I'll zoom out so you guys can see this node here. But we are in a bearish territory, like a really, really bearish territory. We had to hold this, otherwise it's going to be a quick dump tonight. So for me, we really have to reclaim 4205 to see any daylight. And then you see this range low matches this POC here. So to show the aggression of the bulls, you really got to go here. I mean, you got to go about 23 points higher upside. I know there was buyers here earlier, 88. I'm not sure if they're wiped out completely, but I see that they're present before. So if they're able to reclaim this 90, they will have a chance probably to pump all the way to 4205 over the night. Then you see here, this is just after hours. I don't care too much for it, but if they take this seller out here that caused the spike down, over 41.96, you can catch 10 points here. But I don't know what the range will be tonight. And I'm pretty sure we got some major news coming in tomorrow. So let's see here. Let me zoom out so you guys can see why that range was fairly decent size there. So if you guys see here, this was the last node here that we had grabbing it from here to the right, right? And that node's being tested now. So now if you guys look, we're most likely gonna print all the way to 4140. So guys, when something like this happens, right, there's not much holding this market. You can try to buy the bottom and try to protect this gap here, but what are you really protecting here? I wouldn't say you're protecting much. The magnetism is most likely going to be pulling towards this POC, guys. There's really, really not much that's left there on ES. They got to go to 4140, and you guys know how big this level is. Even if you extend it back to 2 years, 3 years, the level just gets reinforced, and you see it here, right? So this level is huge. I was short down a little bit on shorting here as we arrive. There's going to be a bounce. What they might execute tomorrow is also a typical trap where they do this and then they regain it. That's something I would keep an eye on tomorrow, because they're notorious for that, because everybody's aware of this level. So what a best way to doubt them is that you dip through the level, lose it, and then fade it up, reclaim it, and then you push higher. And in terms of 4-month balance, they have long ways to go now, right? So they used to be, I think, what is it, 43.50, man, it's still there, 43.50. So the value didn't shift, the price just went down. So now they're gonna have to spend some time below here, and then the volume is gonna have to come in, and this should shift, and then you would have most likely, some kind of double distribution here. But let's see what they're able to come out. So watch out for this level. If they crack that, and no look back, because I think there's some more war news coming here in the next couple of days. Turkey's involved now, so it'd be really interesting to see what they do. Okay, let me go here. Let me go in 15 minutes. Is there any questions on ES? You really need to reclaim this value area low, and then eventually over 42.12. I think they have an opportunity to push to this volume node. I would look to short at this node here. If they're able to push this 42.26, this node will be a decent short. If they're able to crack that, then you might want to get out of the way, because this is kind of like a lowercase b with a really high volume node. They're most likely going to test the value area high of this level, which is not too far from here, right? I would say right here. I don't know how I had the other one. So, I mean, 42.28, save about 8 points. If they crack that, then you could put your stop loss somewhere right around here or above this one. But this node's a little bit bigger here, just FYI. So it is about 4 points long. So you can find a good middle at 28. If it does break this 12, 20, and it comes here, it might not be a bad level to short. Okay, and then another thing you guys can do is that you can have your volume profile. From the top to the bottom, even now, you would see, look at this 42.12 level. It's still the POC. I mean, I think even if you go now on a little bit bigger scale, say if we grab all the way here, where's the POC? Still stays up at 42. The value area low is at 42.37. So if they're able to push this from here, I mean, that would be amazing, right? That would be about 50 something points, which with this POC being so close, I would think magnetism is all the way down. So maybe they, I don't know what they do overnight, but I think we're going to tap this week. Really highly confident we're going to go here, unless there's shenanigans with earnings. I'm not sure who all has it tomorrow, but this should be tapped this week. And don't put that bias in your head where, oh, I'm going to go all in, because 4140 has to be tapped in. If they have a different idea in mind to trap, let's say, the shorts, well, since you're so close to the level, they might trap the shorts here and basically flip it, right? So know of this level, but don't think, let me sell my house, my kidneys and livers, and we're going to 4140. If we are able to break the previous day low and we see a good continuation down, it's going to be a really good sign that, we're going to continue down tomorrow.
Okay, Amazon tomorrow after hours.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think they're being sued by Euro Union and some other.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's more about the consumer than it is their earnings.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I
When
think
does Powell speak?
I think
He's today. It
at
doesn't matter.
4:30.
He can't. They're on blackout.
They can't mention the rates or none of that. But I honestly think Amazon is going to tank tomorrow. I think there'll be a reality check for the new CEO because he's been flying with the market as a new CEO. I don't think he's getting I think he needs a reality check soon. So and I think
Yes, and everybody's shopping at Target, right, Shorty?
yeah, well,
Just kidding.
I'll send you my statement so you can see fucking Target. They should be long. Should be super long on Target. Okay. So I'll definitely watch this, and what it's gonna be the most important piece tomorrow for me when we are ready to open. Where do we open in relationship to today? And that you want to be paying attention on TPO and volume profiles. So if you go here, I'm just gonna go to regular hours for a moment. If this is our value area low, and let's say we're opening below, what does that indicate? That means they're quickly rejecting the value that it has to be searched below. Remember, when we're selling off, we're trying to shut off what?
Selling.
Yeah, we need to
Selling.
find the spot where the selling is gonna slow down. And what a better way to slow down than arriving here. From here, you could literally get 70 points bounce. Because this level's been, accumulating for almost 3 years, guys. It's a huge level.
4140.
Yeah, I mean, if here I'm going to 2020,
Yes.
and I'll go to what month are we in?
It's 3 years POC
Yeah, I mean,
or
this is
something like that.
yeah, it's a 3-year POC.
October.
That's what I have, and it's not something you want to mess around with as we arrive here. This is huge. I think I've mentioned 4140 in past 6 months. I don't even know how many times. I mentioned it quite a bit. That 4140 is a huge level. I remember it when we were running up. I remember it now. I mean, I think my kids know 4140 by now.
You got 4137. It's the 2023 PLC too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And now if you guys look at it, this is the, it could be a nice trap here because all these traders that, went short on this break here, they got destroyed once. Now maybe they get in, but if they got in on this lower low break, and if you catch a bounce here, well, it might not work out as they intended, because I do expect a bounce here, because this is the only supply when you think about it. We went from this supply here. I'm trying to highlight only this portion here, and we really never came back, right? This is our first time back to this demand zone here. So it was a really good, I don't know if you guys remember, this was that March accumulation from March, I believe, all the way to June almost. I don't know if you guys remember, but
Yeah.
this was a long period, and it was, to me, it was a really profitable period just because we're in a really big bracket and the risk and the reward were limited, but they actually played pretty good. So I think that it's going to be a decent bounce. I would like to see them go dip below and scare people and get in some shorts and then go up. And also at the same time, I'm just going to switch to SPY. I mentioned this a few times, but this level here is going to be a big level that 400. I know about this node, and I think everybody else is aware of this node here. And we're coming close to it, right? Could you buy some calls here? I would say what are we in October for like late December. I think it's not a bad idea, but maybe buy 430 calls because this is treated as an LVN. And then if you draw this profile from here to here, you're going to see that, you could run this all the way to 446, which was our pivot for bearish and SPY. If they come here, you could start accumulating some calls, and I'm probably going to close all my SPY puts at this point here. I'm going to
Is
start
that 40? Is that for 412
41.12.
right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
So,
remember that.
yeah, this level was big. It's gonna be big again. So the 412 level is I think we're gonna get a decent bounce because everyone's aware of it.
Yep.
And I don't care who's aware of it. If I can make some percentages, I'm gonna take those percentages and run with it. So I'll probably start accumulating some 420 calls here. If we are to crack this 398 here, things get a little ugly here, right? And their last resort for the Bulls is that they cannot lose this level right here, which is 392. If they lose 392, well, I hate to say it, but you're looking at the opposite value of this, with the first target being POC at 278 and the other one sitting at 233. And just so you know, all your big boys haven't really taken a beating yet, right? You really think Apple took a beating here just yet? This is nothing here. I mean, Apple is down from all-time highs. How much? 15%. I mean, that's not a lot, guys. I mean, when you think about COVID lows to here, we've been up 272%, and the pullback's been only 15% so far. So you can't tell me this is it for Apple and that we're gonna reverse. When you look at this, look where we are right now in Apple. I'm just gonna delete some of this stuff so you guys see why I'm saying what I'm saying, right? So if you look here, this is pretty much the downfall of Apple right here. You see the level? And look where it's holding for dear life. They know they lose this level here, this shelf. Look what's coming.
Is that Apple's all-time high?
This was Apple's all-time high here.
Okay.
So, I mean, they've lost a lot, and I would think they're going to at least find some kind of 50%. And this would be the pocket here, the golden zone to go long on a swing for Apple. But it all depends, right? If we enter World War III or what the fuck happens with all this bad news. But I'd be looking to, enter some longs on Apple here. Just, I don't know if you guys recall Google. We talked about Google, this supply multiple times at 136, 137. I mean, they came here and they basically stalled. And this was also the monthly top on Google. If you go, they struggled. They had the weekly. It was also part of our search list on the last one. So they struggled here a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised, to see a reclaim all the way down to the value area low of this at 107 here shortly. Most likely they're going to catch a bounce here. I don't see Apple bouncing, and I guess that's the only problem I see. I don't see Apple bouncing till 150. And then Amazon, when you look at these big boys, do you guys remember this drawing? Does anyone recall this drawing?
No.
I think we've covered it multiple times, right? So you had a consolidation for a very long time on Amazon. You came back, retested, and then look at this. You didn't even make it there. I would bet Amazon's going down tomorrow on their earnings, probably towards 198 or 100 level. And I know last time there was a lot of buyers there, and it would be, as your friend Jake calls it, this would be an SR flip here. Okay. So a lot of stuff is lined up to go push down now. I haven't checked Tesla. Is it below 200? It's going below 200. Yeah, there's your Tesla chart. Has a lot of support here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it could go to $15 for all I care, right? I still have these shares. I don't know if anyone's still in this. I still have this. It actually was not really bad drawdown on this. I don't know if anyone still has it, but it wasn't really bad drawdown on this.
I haven't opened that account in months.
I was down almost $36,000 at one point.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one, yeah, I got played on this one. I got stopped. but at least it wasn't a massive hit on this. So this is big. Definitely keep an eye on the dollar here. Remember that bull flag that we talked about, the dollar? I think it's looking to play out here. So it might go reach the highs, and then you see here, if you're able to clear these highs here, 107, I mean, the next supply for the dollar comes in at 110, and that would probably be about 6-7% down on ES, in my opinion. You're gonna target this demand, this supply zone here on Dixie. So if I can draw a square, they're gonna have to target this sooner than later, right? This is where they sold off. They're gonna drive it up to this level somewhere in the middle of this. And that'd be interesting, right? If you get, DXY to 112, that would be really, really good. Well, for the bears, if you're a bear, really bad for your 401k. Okay. On NQ, let's see, NQ had a couple of really good setups. And I don't know, last night we mentioned that there's if they lose the level that we had, the 3-day
100.
POC, that it was going to be 100 points between
Yep.
709 and 609. And that happened
Yep.
super quick this morning, guys.
Yes, it
Uh,
did.
And it didn't really challenge it much. I mean, you had a candle, and look where you bounce, right on the money, right? So it was a pretty good play. So now you just got to zoom out a little bit. I'll just delete all of this. And if you're using dailies for analysis now, you really can't, right? Your daily profiles are out of picture right now. You have to go find something that's a little bit more convenient to use, right? So maybe it's, in this case, it's like monthlies.
Monthlies, yeah.
So if you guys look here, let me just change this. Damn, I'm at 30.
Yeah, monthlies is more clear.
So now if you see here, you have a little bit of demand here, but not much. And then below that, this is the last resort for, I would say, for bears, or I'm sorry, for bulls to defend on a longer time scale. It would be here. It's this volume node. I would say something like this. That's the last one. But ultimately, you're talking about this POC here. And if you just draw the volume profile, I mean, since October, I would say from here, whatever this is, maybe it's January to here, if you draw, look at this. You crack this POC at 15.1, and from my perspective, this is right here is the last thingy before you pretty much collapse here. Could they offer a bounce here? Of course, they can protect that gap because they know this is just going to be a vacuum here. You have this node here that has a little bit of potential for holding, but otherwise it's just going to be a vacuum all the way down to, what is this, 13,000. So it'd be a quick dump, right? And if anyone held or added some SQQ, I did, right? Because I got in. I think my average is about 26. So I'm still down just because it's a leveraged, right? But if this executes as it should, I don't see a reason why this shouldn't play out and lead to profitable trade. Because if you guys look at this, somebody's selling here. I don't think anyone's selling here at the moment, right? At the bottom here, it seems like it's being bought up. So I'll definitely watch this and look where the POC is. Look where your shelves are. So most likely we're going to be hitting 32 here on this dump on SQ. So if you're trading future options, right? This is not like an expensive option, ticker. You could trade some of this. Look at maybe some December calls for 30. I think these could play and pay nicely for any smaller accounts that you're trading with. So something to keep an eye on, right? I do have orders in for AMD at $62.50. If I was you guys, I would just take a look if you like the company and fundamentally if it fits what you want to hold in your long-term portfolio. So we grabbed it initially about mid 50s, and I sold at 88ish, right? I did sell some calls against it as well, so I collected some premium and then offloaded the shares because I didn't care to lose them at that point. I'm looking to add back in somewhere in this range here, 62. Is there a high chance that they bounce it here? Yeah, but looking at Nvidia, how much space it hasn't even made a move yet. If this was to ever correct itself, or if they find any fraudulent counting by any chance, This is a quick revisit to 160. I know it sounds crazy and it's never going to happen, I know, but this is where my orders would be on NVIDIA. Okay. I guess, well, that'll be it for me. I will post the charts and stuff in Shorty Corner, and I'll upload the PowerPoint here shortly after.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Shorty.
Thank you, Shorty.
Shorty.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
bud.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.